The requested relief of your mother is that therefore for the best interest of the child, for the sake of the child's mental and emotional well-being, stiffer temporary orders must be entered. So this whole phrase, the best interest of the child, I've said on many occasions, nobody knows what that is. What do you think the best interest of the child is?
For me, it would be here with my dad in Frisco.
So, well, let me change this a little bit differently, because she's asking for the best interest of the child. Is the best interest of the child to be in a home with a stepfather who abuses him?
Absolutely not.
Okay, is the best interest of the child to be in a home with a mother and a stepfather who do anything to try to hurt him or to keep him away from his father or anything like that?
No.
Okay, your father is emotionally abusing you.
She's emotionally abusing me, having to worry about whether I'm going to be handcuffed and taken back to her house where I have to be abused by them. And the only way to get away is to leave their house in handcuffs. So that's emotionally abusing me, having to worry about that.
When you say get away in handcuffs, what do you mean?
I would have to run away to leave their house.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Which I would be arrested for that.
Yeah. It talks about your father besmirching the court and the child's mother, and will continue to encourage the child to resist his mother. Is your father encouraging you to resist your mother?
Not at all.
Okay. But again, from what I saw in the paperwork, and this goes back to, August of 2018, you asked your father to come and pick you up because you were thrown against the wall.
Yes, by Jimmy.
By Jimmy. And you also, and by the way, I mean, just in general, a child is much better in a home with a father than with the mother's boyfriend, fiance, or new husband. Statistically, by far, a child is much safer with the father than with a stepfather or a fiance or a boyfriend of the mother. Your mother is also asking, again, for your father to have supervised or curtailed visitation.
She is the only person that should have supervised visitation. I don't know if I would ever even want to see her again, because I told you last time that I would agree to go and visit her.
Right.
But after seeing what she filed and seeing how she truly is, I don't ever want to see her again. I would be perfectly fine not seeing her.
And that's a shame that she has taken these actions to go to this extent. But again, the supervised visitation. I know your father, and it would seem to me that abusers should be supervised, not people who are not abusive.
Right. It shows how horrible she is just for her suggesting that her attorney write that.
Yeah. Well, and it also says, this is another interesting thing. It was necessary for Ashley Womack to hire Robert A. Thorton, the licensed attorney, to protect the safety and welfare of the child. Now, I think I remember last time I called him Scum Bob Thornton. And I mean, I think that Scum Bob is a very appropriate name for him. Scum Bob would not let you speak to the judge. Scum Bob even knows, I am sure, that your mother and your stepdad have abused you. But Scum Bob would say that it's better for you to be with them. Scum Bob is suing your father. Scum Bob wants his attorney fees. So Scum Bob wants your father to pay the fees. And this is what, actually, because Scum Bob's going to get paid one way or another. But it looks like your mother just doesn't want to pay. So your mother wants to sue your father and have Scum Bob be paid by your father. There seems to be something completely perverse about that. Petitioner Ashley Womack asked that a hearing be set to present these matters and that the respondent's possession be temporarily supervised or abated until the child can be evaluated and a course of action is determined to help this child live out a normal, happy, and safe childhood.
I could never live happily and safely in her house.
And it doesn't sound like normally either. But
no, not
anyway,
at all.
But to go back to something else here, it does not make a difference regardless because this court has no jurisdiction.
Right. She shouldn't even be filing in that court because she can't. It doesn't have jurisdiction.
And yet Judge Graham Quisenberry, refused to acknowledge the fact that he has no jurisdiction, and Scum Bob Thornton also tried to continue to deceive him along those lines as well.
I'm hoping that Judge Quisenberry will realize that he doesn't have jurisdiction and will not do anything with what she's filing. Well,
it is amazing. I mean, it would be nice for Judge Quisenberry to actually look at what the orders are in place and the fact that he has no jurisdiction. But Judge Quisenberry was very prejudiced towards your dad because he was a pro se litigant. Judge Quisenberry was abusive, and this is my thoughts. I saw it, I witnessed it, and I have the recording of it. And yes, Judge Quisenberry was abusive, and it would be nice for Judge Quisenberry to actually remember that he has no jurisdiction. The big thing I think is that it was because your father was a pro se litigant. He did not like pro ses.
Right. He's not a very nice guy at all. He yelled at me. He yelled at me in the hallway for taking food that my dad gave me.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to starve me and make me leave the courthouse. So I was refusing to go home with my abusive mother.
Yeah.
And her husband.
And he also had somebody, did they handcuff you and put you in the van?
Yes. It
So-
was this sheriff with an inspector badge showed up with his glasses and said, it's time to go. And then he went into Judge Quisenberry's private chamber
Yeah.
and asked what level of force he was allowed to use. And he came back and all of the bailiffs handcuffed me, put me in the car, and drove me back to my mom's house.
So now that sounds like that's in the best interest of the child, to actually order policemen to handcuff you. Judge Quisenberry is acting in the best interest of the child. That's a very interesting definition. That's really working it out in practice that, Ayden, I'm going to act in your best interest. I'm going to handcuff you and throw you into a car with people that have been abusing you, and just say, suck it up, baby. It's in your best interest for this to happen.
All these judges say it's in my best interest to go with my mom, and they've handcuffed me like 3 times. The first time was Emily Miskell ordering what was it called? No, it wasn't her. She didn't let me speak to her on a protective order case when the first time they had been abused.
Okay.
And so then my mom filed in Parker County a writ of attachment. So I don't know. Well, I don't know where she filed a writ of attachment, but whatever judge issued that, believed it was in my best interest to be handcuffed and taken back to her house and be abused there. So
judges have ordered you to be abused, basically. They've handcuffed you, and they've ordered you to be... When they handcuff you and they throw you into the car, have you ever been hurt?
yeah, they handcuffed me really tight. My hands have turned purple the last time.
Okay, so when they did that, you're 14 right now.
Yes.
So they're abusing a minor at the same time. That's very interesting that, in the best interest of the child, they will abuse you and bruise you and handcuff you and throw you into the car.